Yeah. 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 Bronx on the scene, nose to the ground, reads every scratch, every step, every sound. Dust on the boot, mud on the cuff, one wrong move and he calls you bluff. He found a lie in the turn of a face, found a fresh print in an empty place. Tail up high when the story won't blend, he don't bark loud, he just gets close. Damn, sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. Hey, hey. Idaho nights cold, over the floor. 4 names heavy in the whole town, so Bronx in the weeds where the silence stayed, digging for proof in the tracks it made. He found the gap in the masked up tail, found the bent clue in the buried trail. Bone white truth in the folder stack, one clean scent and the case swings back. Sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. One paw print, one torn thread, one false alibi, falls dead. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose.
Oh, now I'm around. What the heck? Well, that's funny. Let's change that real quick. While I change this, because I don't know why it looks like this at all. There we go. That was really weird. It's Friday. It's Friday. Hey, we made it. Hello, everybody. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. How has your week been? I hope it's been wonderful. I hope you guys have some fun plans for this weekend. I want to say thank you to On Top X for starting off the show with a bang, like always. On Top X. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And also, Thrive started off with a bang as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We do have a couple more FOIAs in the works, just so you guys know. I'm waiting on Ethan Rung or Rungy. Not sure if it exists yet, but we are waiting on the response for that one. And Allie Benson, we're waiting on the response for that one as well. So I checked to see. They do their FOIAs different now, which is great because we can keep track of them. So I went into the portal and 2 of them have higher numbers as far as staff time spent on it, and they're significantly higher. So I'm hoping that means we will get those interviews, and they do exist. I don't know. I could be reading into it too far, but just letting you guys know. But I want to start with something else because I feel terrible and I messed up, and I want to apologize to everybody. On Wednesday, we did have an amazing show. His information is just so fascinating to me. And I was just so in the zone that I completely forgot to read your guys' questions to him. And I felt so bad that I couldn't fall asleep on Wednesday night. So I hope you guys accept my apology. I'm not trying to make excuses at all. It's been a very, very long time since I've had a guest. And I was just so focused in on what he was saying, and I felt like it was just him and I in the room having a conversation, and I just totally spaced your guys' questions, and I just want to apologize. I'm so sorry. I felt horrible. So I did write them all down, and luckily we have him again tomorrow on the verdict room, so I will ask them there. So it's not a complete miss, I suppose, but I just want to let you guys know that I felt awful. I truly did. I just felt bad. I can't help it. I can't help it. I feel like there's an expectation there, and I let you guys down, and I apologize. I'm very sorry. Please know that I have now learned from that, and it will never happen again. I think I'm just so used to not having guests, and when we do have guests, it's on the verdict room, and Dago is the one who puts everything on the screen for us. I don't have control of that on Saturdays, so I guess I just spaced it. I don't know. I felt horrible. So I just want to let you guys know that that was a learning experience for me, because I felt terrible. I couldn't go to sleep, and I was like, oh my God, they're never going to come back. They hate me. Oh my God. So I apologize, and it won't happen again. And if you guys are interested in me having a guest on, shoot me an email or put it in the chat or in a comment or something. And I just don't reach out to people to have guests. And so I forgot how fun it was to have a guest on here. And I really enjoyed having him on. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. Okay, let's get started on some chit chat. I don't have a lot of big things today, but I have a bunch of little stuff, and I do want to talk about some of it. And wherever you guys want to throw the conversation, go for it. We can just chit chat about stuff. There wasn't really a whole lot going on this week. There wasn't any new videos released, new interviews, nothing like that. But there's been a few things that I'm interested in talking about. So welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have you here. Yeah, that would be a really good idea. Why does the chat now look different on screen? What is going on? Oh, I know what happened. My computer didn't even warn me and just randomly like went black and then restarted itself like an hour later the other day. So maybe it's just weird. I don't know. I believe you have chatters who would be a great group of panel guests. That's a really good idea. That's a really, really good idea. How about next week? If you want to come on and do a panel, we'll set it for next Friday. Shoot me an email, and we can have a couple of you guys on stage. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. But if you have, some thoughts and conversation that would be really good in the Idaho case, and you want to just have a panel with you and maybe, 3 other people in chat, and you guys want to come on up, we can do that. That would be really fun. Rather than having, a guest, you guys can come on and be the guest. So yeah, that'd be great. Just shoot me an email. It's Bronx Tales, truecrime@gmail.com. And the tales is like a dog tale, not like a story tale. So that'd be great. Yes, shoot me an email. That would be really fun to do. All right, let's talk about, I don't know if you guys caught Lana's live today, but I'm really struggling to process it. So I want to talk about it. I'm going to share just the beginning of her live. We're not going to go over the whole dang thing, but I do want to play a little bit of it. And I want to talk about this whole DoorDash thing, because I don't do DoorDash. I don't order DoorDash. So I don't know how it works, but my brain was not able to comprehend how that would work in that way. But I did think of another way that it could be possible. Maybe. Again, I don't do DoorDash, so it might not be possible, but we'll talk about it. So let's play just the beginning of her live so we can see exactly what her thought process was on this and where she was going with it. Ready, set, go.
Employee. And guess who actually got the interview? Back in the day, we never knew who interviewed the person on JLR's channel. It was Magnolia. Magnolia was the person that JLR was with inside the Jack in the Box and talking to 2 gentlemen, younger guys that work in Jack in the Box. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't this the Jack in the Box where they got, remember the Kohberger murders in Moscow?
Yeah.
Xana got Jack in the Box from here.
We had police officers and feds up and they were like asking for our footage.
We had police officers and feds up in here asking for our footage. Okay.
And stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And it happened like there was a couple like they came in here a few days, like not in a row, but there was a few times they were in here asking because I don't really know how they found out like what the evidence was.
Well, because it was like the DoorDash got picked up from you.
Okay. Write down in your notes that they weren't here back-to-back days. It was the feds and the police, and they were here a couple different times. And then he says, I don't really know like how they knew, but then he starts to go on and say, I don't know, but like the evidence, how they figured it out. But ready?
Yeah. Did you ever find out like who the DoorDash driver was?
I don't know if I ever personally, I can't do. I know I made the dude scoot a lot though for the guy. And I remember his name very clearly up on her screen. I actually did the murder.
What is it?
Right there. Okay, so people got confused with this. Ready? So what he says is, and I remember the cops came in a couple different times, cops/feds, and they were looking for the footage. Okay, and I was at two different things happened here. They wanted the footage, obviously. They wanted stuff about the DoorDash driver, and then they wanted to know if Bryan Kohberger was he a customer? Did he ever order? Things like that. So that's that part where he says, I remember that name.
His name very clearly up on her screen. I actually did the murder.
What is it?
That actually did the murder. Okay.
It's like Brian's something. Brian is like Brian C. I just don't know the last names clearly, but like
Was it Brent Kopacka?
no, it was Brian Kohberger or something like that. I think that was his name.
The DoorDash driver?
No, not the DoorDash driver. The person that
Yeah, the killer's name.
yeah.
But I'm talking about the DoorDash driver. Who was the DoorDash driver?
You know the DoorDash driver that was DoorDashing for the murder? Yes. Yeah. You know, I don't know what name.
I don't know her name.
But I was talking to her the other day.
Who was it?
I don't remember the name.
Oh, it's a girl.
But yeah, she has like black hair.
She has like black hair. You would consider Molly to have like black hair. Think about a guy talking, okay? Like they would look at this picture right now on the screen. That person has black hair, Bryan Kohberger. You know, dark black hair, okay? Molly, dark hair, okay?
Yeah, crazy.
When she came in, she said she talked to that. Hadn't seen her in a while.
She said she talked to them, meaning the police. She talked to them. I hadn't seen her in a while, okay? She talked to them, meaning the police.
DoorDash a little bit. The FBI was investigating the whole thing. Yeah.
The FBI is investigating the whole thing.
Yeah, crazy.
When she came in, she said she talked to that. Hadn't seen her in a while. She thought DoorDash a little bit. The FBI was investigating the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, so she probably had like trauma.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it.
Okay, now listen to this guy right here. He is about to tell you what's weird about it, okay? So I'm going to back up just a second here. Here we go.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it, or she dropped it off. Like that.
It is kind of weird that she ordered it and dropped it off. Bam, bitch. That's the weird part. The weird part isn't that like, there's nothing weird about being a DoorDash driver, okay? The weird part is that she ordered it and delivered it. That's the weird part. Bam, bitches, bam. Okay, this is what I wanted to bring you last night on a woo, oh, holy shit, sit down, folks, because this is what I've been saying. Molly, now I'm going to play you a clip from her interview. I'm sorry, I was trying to prep you guys the other night with Birdie. I was like, hey, Birdie, go and play that Molly part, okay? Because what Molly slips in at different times and it's mumble jumbled all over, she's all over the place. What she's trying to hit on at all different times is just so they could say if they're turning, that's the only one that they were ever planning on turning over. That interview was the only one they were going to be planning on to turn over to whoever was ever one day going to prosecute.
Okay, I know you guys don't want me to interrupt her, but I do want to try and wrap my mind around how is it possible that Molly could order it and pick it up? I'm not it I thought it doesn't work that way. I didn't think as a driver you could also order your own food and pick it up. That would mean that you're getting paid to order your own food. I'm not understanding this. But what my thought was is if Molly did have a second device, which we already think that because of the whole Brittany Fernandez thing and how Brittany Fernandez's phone seemingly did a handshake with Dylan's phone. We do know that it was not manually entered as a saved contact into her phone. It was because Brittany Fernandez's device was discoverable. And when it came in range of Dylan's device, which was discoverable as well, they did a handshake and they registered each other's devices. And that is how the contact was in the background of Dylan's phone. It wasn't like a saved contact like that. It was just they saw each other's devices basically. 24 seconds after that handshake of each other's phones is when we see Molly on the camera. So it was literally just Molly walking by 1122 and Dylan's phone sniffed out Molly's phone, basically, is what it was. So I do believe that Brittany Fernandez is Molly McMichael's second device. My thought is it possible that Molly McMichael on her second device had a different DoorDash app as a customer under a different name, possibly Brittany Fernandez? I'm just using that as an example. I don't know what name it would be under. Is it possible that on Molly's second device as a customer DoorDash, she placed an order for the 1122 house or even just somewhere around that, because we don't know that it actually was for 1122. We've seen nothing on DoorDash. Is it possible she had an actual drug deal over there? So on her second device with an alias, she placed an order. She then goes and picks up the order like she's picking it up for somebody else, but it's really just her own order and what she wants to eat. But then she goes and picks it up to drive it over by 1122 to do her drug deal. But then she gets to eat the food and gets a kickback from being the delivery driver for her own order. Could that work? I don't know if I'm explaining it right or not, but I know that there are some DoorDashers in here and can probably help me process this. I don't understand how she could place the order and pick it up, but it be for under Xana's name or for Xana. I'm not. I mean, I guess we don't necessarily know that Xana herself placed the order. They won't give us the information for like whose account it came from. They won't give us any of that, which is sketchy. It's sketchy that they won't tell us that information. I just don't know if that's possible. The only thing is she's not guaranteed to get that delivery. It just depends on how many other drivers are in the area, which absolutely makes sense to me. We do know that Eric Gower for Uber and Lyft, it was between him and one other person, and that's it. So I could imagine in a small town, it's possible that she may have been the only driver at that time. Or she knew to, as soon as she placed that order from her second device under an alias, she knew as the driver to hurry up and pick it. Yeah, I'll take that order. Is that possible? I'm scrolling back up through the comments. I don't understand how DoorDash works. I don't really either. Oh yeah, yep. And the Emily Allant Venmo to Xana at 3:30. It was maybe canceled and returned. See, Molly says that the order she had to have them remake it, and she went and picked it up. I guess I don't understand how that works. Doesn't that only happen if the customer complains that they didn't get their order? Like Molly can't say, I need this order remade. The customer would have to say that. So that's what I'm confused at. Yeah, I did DoorDash for 14 months. That's definitely plausible, especially at that time of night when not many other drivers would be operating, so she could get it easily. And she obviously would know, since she placed the order, how long it would take for that order to go through and be ready, so she could be the one to hurry up and click on it like, yep, I'll be the driver for that, knowing it's just her own order. And she's using that as, a front for drug dealing, whether it's her dealing or her picking up. I also think it might be possible that she was buying the drugs instead of selling the drugs, because you don't ever know when your drug dealer is going to show up. It's not like your drug dealer says, yeah, meet me here in 10 minutes, and they actually show up. Sometimes they take 2 and 3 hours. And they'll just have a person waiting. I've seen people outside my house waiting before for their drug dealer, and they were just sitting there. And then I finally realized what it was. So maybe that's why it didn't get delivered, because she was like waiting on her drug dealer, and he wasn't showing up. And then when he finally showed up, she maybe realized like, oh shit, I forgot about this order that I have to say it's delivered. Or even like Lana said, she kept the app open. She never said it was delivered because it was her own freaking food anyways. So she didn't even think about it. What do you guys think? I'm really curious I don't know if I'm on the right page here or if this is even possible. Let's see. If 2 dashers are in one place, both will get the notification, but only one at a time. Okay. So she can, if she dropped it or it got messed up somehow, she can have the food remade. Okay, so I suppose then if they throw it away because they didn't think she was coming to pick it up, then she could have it remade as well. I order DoorDash all the time, always a print receipt and sealed bag. Leave on my front porch and take a picture. Yeah, I don't understand why we don't have a picture. I'm going to FOIA that and see. Like, I just want the picture of the DoorDash receipt. Not the receipt, but you know what I mean? The picture of it at the door. Oh my God. If you put a fryer in your back seat, you can make bank. Oh, I think he said ordered and then corrected himself and said, or dropped it off. Okay, we need to go back and listen to see what exactly he said. Because I did at first hear, it's weird that she ordered it and then picked it up. That's what I heard too, but I don't know if it's because I'm being told that's what I'm hearing. No, I don't think you can do that. The bags are supposed to be sealed, so she wouldn't even know if there was a problem. Restaurants, from my experience, won't remake the order. Interesting. How does this affect Xana's last proof of life? When did Xana last make any use of her phone? I don't think we know. I believe they said she was on TikTok at 4:16. I'm not sure it was actually 4:16 though. And we also don't know if that was just the TikTok app running in the background or doing an update, or we don't have actual proof of that. Just like there was one thing on Dylan's phone and it was actually like an app update rather than her using the app. She was using apps. It just wasn't that one at that time, I don't think. So we don't actually know that Xana was using TikTok at the time they said she was. So we don't really have proof of life other than her last probably phone call or text. She's lying to Payne. They didn't have to remake it. She ordered it. Okay. She could have placed the order through the same phone for sure. It's separate apps. One is the Dasher app. The other is the actual DoorDash app that you use to order. They show a half full box of fries on the microwave. What drunk college kid going in her room to eat with her boyfriend goes in the kitchen to make a plate and leaves half the fries? You just take the bag. That's what I thought. My thought is there was never a DoorDash order. I don't think there ever was a DoorDash order to that house. I think that bag is from before. I don't think that bag was from that morning. And the reason I don't think that is because Dylan's popcorn cellophane, the outside clear part of Dylan's popcorn, was inside the DoorDash bag that supposedly got there 3 hours after Dylan made popcorn. I really don't see Xana sitting in the kitchen only picking up Dylan's cellophane and putting it in her bag. I just don't. But I see maybe Dylan making the popcorn and putting the cellophane, instead of putting it in the garbage, lazy, she put it in Xana's old DoorDash bag that was still sitting there because that was also full of garbage. It's old. That's what I think. I don't necessarily think there was actually a DoorDash there that night. And that's why they won't show us a DoorDash picture, order, whose app, whose account, whose phone, nobody, nothing. They won't show us. They won't give it to us. So, yeah. I'm struggling. As soon as I saw the cellophane of popcorn in the bag, I was like, I don't think that bag is from that morning. I don't. I absolutely don't. I mean, we were told by both Turvey and Whitcomb that Xana got her DoorDash order and was eating it in the kitchen. And that's where she encountered this intruder. I don't buy any of that. Please tell me who's going to encounter an intruder in their kitchen, walking through the back door or coming down the stairs or whatever it was, and you're not going to run out the open back slider. Also, who's going to encounter an intruder and take their plate to run away and go into their room? No, that did not happen. Me, Nora? Okay. The ones on here. I'm looking. One second. I'm looking for Nora's comment real quick. I don't see it. Hi, Liv. Good to see you. Hello, Wellington. There it is. Okay. She would have to have another device, like a decoy device. Like, I don't know if you saw my message up above, but I'm trying to explain it to you. It's very complicated for DoorDash. It would be extremely hard to fool the DoorDash on your own device. You'd have to have an additional device and an additional account completely. It wouldn't be able to go into your actual device. Right. And that's what I was explaining too, that Molly McMichael is the owner of the Brittany Fernandez device, as well as her regular device. And her regular device is the device she DoorDashes with to make money. And the Brittany Fernandez drug dealing device is the device she placed the order on from a completely different DoorDash app as a customer under a different name. and she's door dashing under her real name to make money and drop off the food and stuff. So I find reheated fries to be so gross. That's because you have to put them in the air fryer. You can't put them in the microwave. Then they're just gross and soggy. But if you put them in the air fryer. She told police she had a new phone. Yeah, she got the very next day. She got rid of her number and got a new phone and a new phone number. Huh. Weird. Why would you do that? Because you're making plays through DoorDash and you decided to use the address of a house where people ended up getting murdered in. You know, I can see a drug dealer being like, hey, meet me behind the, you know, the brown apartments, or meet me back up on Linda Lane, where people, it's not a common place to drive other than the people that live there. So she just picks an address to have food delivered to, but doesn't actually deliver the food. If you remember, when she shows up on camera, she's not carrying a bag of food. If you're looking for an address to drop off food, you'd probably carry the bag with you so you don't have to walk back and forth 4 times. That part doesn't make sense to me. Why would you not carry the food with you? Or is she walking around looking for her drug dealer? Or she is the drug dealer this time. I mean, she can do both, right? And she's looking for the person that she's dealing to, which ends up being the person in the white car that speeds away. Because the person in the white car grabs the drugs, but sits there for a second, or ends up doing their drugs in the car waiting, and then drives off and speeds away. Or that's the undercover vehicle and they realized there was just a drug deal and they went after them. I don't know. That's just super speculation. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I'll play a little bit more of Lana's and we'll see if there's anything else that could go with this and pique our brains to think outside the box here.
I'm sorry, not prosecute, but defend Bryan Kohberger. Okay. This is what you're going to see. You're going to have to do a lot more asking us if you want a lot more shit. Okay. And Molly touches on, and she said something along the lines of that, oh yeah, when I went back there, he had thrown away my order. He didn't think I was coming back. And so he had to remake me an order. Do you guys remember that? Mm-hmm. I remember it so crystal clear. And it's like, it doesn't matter where and when Molly would say that that happened, just that it happened. Okay. Because it is just at least on the record so that she can say, well, I knew that had happened, but I didn't know that I couldn't remember if it was that order, you know? So let's get this clear. Okay. Molly. Okay. So and this is what makes sense to me. Molly.
Yep. We can replay it. Let me go back.
You order it.
Okay, now listen to this guy right here. He is about to tell you what's weird about it. Okay, so I'm going to back up just a second here. Here we go.
Probably a little bit, yeah, especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it, or she dropped it off like that.
It is kind of weird that she ordered it and dropped it off. Bam, bitch. That's the weird part.
I'm going to play it again.
FBI is investigating the whole thing.
That's crazy.
When she came in, she said she talked to that and seen her in a while. She thought DoorDash room for a little bit. The FBI was investigating the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, so she probably had like trauma.
Probably a little bit, yeah, especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it.
Okay, now listen to this guy right here. He is about to tell you what's weird about it. Okay, so I'm going to back up just a second here. Here we go.
Probably a little bit, yeah, especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it, or she dropped it off like that.
It is kind of weird that she ordered it and dropped it off. Bam, bitch.
That's not what he says. He says it's kind of what I hear. He could say that, but what I hear just now is It's kind of weird that she ordered it but dropped it off. One more time, or maybe two more times.
When she came in, she said she saw, because I hadn't seen her in a while. She thought DoorDash room for a little bit. The FBI was investigating the whole thing.
Oh, so she probably had like trauma.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it.
Okay, now listen to this guy right here. He is about to tell you what's weird about it. Okay, so I'm going to back up just a second here. Here we go.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it, or she dropped it off. Like,
It is kind of weird that she ordered it and dropped it off. Bam, bitch. That's the weird part. The weird part isn't that, like, there's nothing weird about being a DoorDash driver. Okay. The weird part is that she ordered it and delivered it. That's the weird part. Bam, bitches, bam. Okay. This is what I wanted to bring you last night on a woo, oh, holy shit, sit down, folks, because this is what I've been saying. Molly, now I'm going to play you a clip from her interview. I'm sorry, I was trying to prep you guys the other night with Birdie. I was like, hey, Birdie, go and play that Molly part. Okay. Because what Molly slips in at different times, and it's mumble jumbled all over, she's all over the place. What she's trying to hit on at all different times is just so they could say if they're turning, that's the only one that they were ever planning on turning over. That interview was the only one they were going to be planning on to turn over to whoever was ever one day going to prosecute, but defend Bryan Kohberger. Okay. This is what you're going to see. You're going to have to do a lot more asking us if you want a lot more shit. Okay. And Molly touches on, and she said something along the lines of that, oh yeah, when I went back there, he had thrown away my order. He didn't think I was coming back. And so he had to remake me an order. Do you guys remember that? Mm-hmm. I remember it so crystal clear. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yes, we can absolutely slow it down. I hear but. I don't hear and at all.
Especially being involved in that.
One second. I want to address Blue-Eyed Butterfly. Thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. And Jen, thank you for the gifted membership. We appreciate you so much. And Jen again, thank you so much. And Hoffy says, Bronx asked me for this bone. Telepathy. Thank you so much. And Carol, thank you so much. We appreciate you very, very much. Thank you guys so much. Okay, we're going to play it again, and we're going to slow it down just to make sure. Just to make sure.
I mean, it's kind of weird.
All right. I hear but. I do not hear and.
Order it, or she dropped it off. Like,
It is kind of weird that
He said but.
when she came in, she said she saw, because I hadn't seen her in a while. She saw DoorDash room for a little bit. The FBI was investigating the whole thing.
Oh, so she probably had like trauma.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it.
Okay, now listen to this guy right here. He is about to tell you what's weird about it. Okay, so I'm going to back up just a second here. Here we go.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Especially being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it, or she dropped it off. Like,
It is kind of weird that she ordered it.
He says but. He says it's kind of weird that she ordered it, but she dropped it off. But he says a couple more words after that. I just don't know what it is. Because she stops it. So yeah, it's definitely but. And I'm not sure what he means by that either. It's kind of weird that she ordered it but dropped it off. I don't understand. You guys hear or? All right. I don't know. We'll have to come back to it. I'm not going to keep playing it. I mean, we get the point. I just think that it would be weird, or I guess maybe I just don't know how it works, and that could be as well. I don't think that she can make an order and pick it up and drop it and do all that from the same account. So there would have to be something else going on if that's what happened. I think it's more so that, I don't know. We just don't have proof. We don't have proof from Xana or Ethan or either one of them. Their phones, their accounts, their devices, they won't show us. They won't show us the picture of the DoorDash. There is something with this DoorDash. It doesn't sit right with me. I'm going to keep digging into this. We'll probably have something to say on this on Monday, because I'm going to dig into this all weekend and turn my gears. There is something that's not right about this DoorDash. Why won't they give us the picture? Why won't they tell us whose account it is? The other part that is super strange to me is, I think it's either Bethany or Dylan that says, I tried to look up to see Xana and Ethan's location, but their locations were off. Why were both Ethan and Xana's locations off at 1 something in the morning? Or at least by 2 in the morning. Yeah, for sure. Deceptive no matter what. Yes, she changed her phone and her tires. Absolutely. It's strange. None of it sits right with me. None of the DoorDash stuff, none of the Molly stuff. I think Molly was approached by Bill Thompson because he does this, and he's done this in many different cases. I've done a deep dive into several of his cases, and what he does is he says, I need you to be a witness. I need you to tell me a story of what happened so I can win this case. And if you don't, I'm going to charge you. You will be charged if you don't give me a story and you're the witness. Not like that, but in so many words, that's what he does. He says, I will charge you if you don't be my witness. So I'm sure he said to Molly, I'm going to charge you for all these drugs, all the shit you're doing, unless you give me a story that you saw Bryan or something. That's what I think that was about. But I think she was doing nefarious stuff, so much so that she knows that she had to change her phone number, get a new phone, and change her tires. Obviously, she doesn't have her insurance is lapsed. We know she's out here spending her money on drugs. I can't imagine that the very next day, suddenly she's got money to change her tires and get a new phone. I mean, that's very purposeful. She's hiding something for sure. Why did she say, something about, I saw the sister on the news and I don't think that's who it was that I saw in the window, or it could have been the sister in the window or something like that. So you were obviously watching the news on this case. Why didn't you come forward and say, oh, I was the DoorDasher for them? Because you weren't. That's why. Because you weren't. You were doing something else, pretending to be a DoorDasher. She knew there was at least a DoorDash order that went there that night, whether it was hers or somebody else's. There's something going on with this. I'm going to dig into it this weekend. Hopefully we can find something good. But there's definitely something nefarious going on. Okay, speaking of things that don't add up and make you go, wait, what? We'll do this one. Okay, so we are going to talk about, I'm going to do this one first. Okay. I'm going to play you a little video because I find it interesting. Now, this is a really old video. 3 years ago. But he talks about the officers in and around this case. And then I have something else to show you. Let's take a look at this video. It's 4 minutes. So T-Rev from back in the day.
Folks, what up, YouTube? It's your boy T-Rev. I want to speak to you guys again about the Moscow, Idaho police and the problem with Rory Wilson, Nathan Wilson, Gunderson, and I think it's Nunez or whatever his name is.
It says Officer Mitch Nunez finished the Idaho Post Academy and ranked number 3 in his class. He was selected as class president and gave the graduation commencement address. When Officer Nunez returned to MPD, he immediately started solo patrol duties. Since that time, Officer Nunez has distinguished himself as a proactive officer with an interest in DUI apprehension. Officer Nunez responded to an agency assist call in Pullman, Washington, where he was instrumental in providing critical first aid to a shooting victim. Officer Nunez was recently selected as a field training officer and will be passing on his skills to new officers. Officer Nunez was the first officer on scene at 1122.
After digging further, he got a phone call back on December 23rd before Bryan Kohberger was arrested. And these names were brought to my attention on stream. Yeah, Shelly, Art. Hopefully she's safe right now. If you're watching this video, I pray that you're safe. I hope that you're okay. Nobody has harmed you in any way. But let's jump into it. Watch this clip now.
What? I've been through it. I'm from Los Angeles. I can take it.
I want
Okay, I'm down with the Dogtown.
I personally, I'm interested in hearing what you're saying because you could be right.
Douglas, Rory, and Nathan Wilson. You guys want names? I just dropped the names. Look them up.
Okay.
Do your
Those are absolutely Moscow police officers. Actually, we hear their names very subtly, but it's in there in some of the body cams that we got to see in the past couple months that were released by Connor. There's a conversation or something, and you can hear somebody say something about Officer Wilson. So those are absolutely 2 officers in Moscow.
research. Douglas Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
Rory Wilson. Rory Wilson.
Okay.
Nathan Wilson. A
Yes,
father and his 2 sons. The reason why they're not investigating this guy is because he's in a situation with the police right now because of that arrest that I just showed you on the video that was recent.
Oh, so I guess those aren't actual officers. But if you go back, I'll find it. I'll find it and we'll play it. Officers on scene in a body cam for 111 or 1122 are talking about an Officer Wilson as well. So I thought that's who she was talking about. But I guess she's talking about Defendant Gunderson acting on personal prejudice in reaction to the free speech exercised by plaintiffs and with retaliatory intent handcuffed Rory Wilson, forced him to the ground, and conducted a custodial interrogation without providing him his Miranda warnings, and knowing that plaintiff Rory Wilson was not free to leave. Defendant Gunderson suppressed exculpatory evidence for almost a year and falsely testified in the pursuit of criminal charges against plaintiffs for exercising their right to free speech. Gunderson chose to treat plaintiffs as criminals despite knowing that they were exercising their right to free speech in a way always allowed by the city and ignored by officers before and since, with the sole exception being this case where plaintiffs were engaged in political speech critical of the city. So they're saying that Officer Gunderson took this Rory Wilson to the ground because he was free speech, you know, saying something outside somewhere that Gunderson obviously didn't like, so he took him down.
The reason why they wouldn't question the black truck, you want to know why? Because if they question him in the murder, then this guy, he's already admitted on so many of his videos that he's got a stash of cash in case the FBI investigates him. You guys don't know who you're fucking with.
Okay. So after watching that clip and listening to her, let me know what you think. She was on to this before it became a problem in this case, and I think this is where the problem lies. Do we know this for sure? Absolutely not. It's speculating. It's speculating right now, but it's said that these officers lied on the stand. These were officers on the scene at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. Guys, I don't know if this is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, but we have some shit to talk about. Something isn't right here, and we need to get down to the bottom of it. I'm telling you this right now. This officer lied on the stand against Rory Wilson. Now, I think this is our problem. I think we found the problem, ladies and gentlemen, but what is... I don't know. You let me know what you think down in the comments, because I'm mind blown. I'm just as mind blown as everybody else is with this IDAHO4 case. It's been a carnival, right? It's been a circus, a fucking carnival show. I don't know what the hell they got going on down there in Moscow, but they paint it to be a great town. But then you got all these cops that are doing corny, goofy ass shit, which it goes on in a lot of places, especially here in Chicago. I don't know. Let me know what you think, though. I'm going to talk to you guys. I'll see you at the live. Love you.
Look.
I don't know. I don't know if he is the one that Jules won't talk about. I think I only watched one video of it, maybe two, way back, you know, in the beginning of this case, like the rest of you guys probably did. I listened to the one where they said it was Bryan Kohberger calling in, but it wasn't. I think that's it. Somebody sent me this to play it, so I just wanted to share it. I'm not saying believe him. I'm not saying don't believe him. I was just kind of showing you an older clip for some things regarding some officers, and the reason that I wanted to show you that regarding some officers is because, let me find it, is because of this. This is Officer Dustin Olson. Officer Dustin Olson. He was arrested. One second. I'm going to share a different picture. Dang it. I shared the same one. There's another one, I promise. Here, I'll just exit out of this one. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. This is Officer Dustin Olson from Eagle, Idaho. He was booked on 5/18 this year, so a week and a half ago. He had 3 charges, including controlled substance possession and something else. I don't think Eagle, Idaho is that far from Moscow. There's been 2 other officer arrests in the same area. The reason oh, this was in Boise. The reason I wanted to share this is because I don't know if this is connected. This might be a total reach. This might be a total reach. No, I know he's not MPD. He's in Boise. I'm just saying this might be a total reach. But when we listen to the Caden Young, when the officer was talking to his friend Chris in the video of the death investigation of Caden Young, he mentions a Dustin. He says, Are you getting your drugs from Dustin? And I'm just saying, I don't know if it's the same guy or not. But he was, listen, even if he's not the cop, I don't have a clue. I don't know if he's the cop or not. It just says Dustin Olson. Somebody said it was an officer. It might not even be an officer. But oh, Dustin Olson was the guy arrested at Moose Lodge the night of the murder. Okay. Yeah, I deleted the comments and banned it. The guy that was spamming. Yeah, it's okay. He's out. But yeah, in the Caden Young death interview, they were asking him about a Dustin, if he was getting his drugs from Dustin. Just wondering if it's the same person. That's it. There's a Dustin Olson cop and a Dustin Olson criminal. Got it. Okay. Yeah, somebody just sent me this picture and I didn't even look to see if it was the cop or the criminal. I just remembered that name, and I was like, they were asking Caden Young's friend in the death investigation of Caden Young about a Dustin and getting their drugs from Dustin. It might be the same person. I have no idea. But I just wanted to show you that since it was sent to me and I thought it was interesting. Okay. Now I want to talk about this Jack DeCœur phone call. And I want to get your guys's opinion. It's Bronx Tales True Crime at Gmail. But the Tales is spelled like a dog tail, not like a story tale. Bronx Tails. Thank you, Bianca. Hey, Legal Swag. Good to see you. Okay. I want to talk about this Jack DeCœur phone call. In the interview, the officer says, you have about a 16-minute and 88-second phone call. He says, that's almost 17 minutes. First of all, that would be over 17 minutes. Second of all, when have you ever seen a phone call that ends in 88 seconds? It's not possible. That literally doesn't happen. It can't. And a phone won't do that either. Yeah, that's what he says. He says, it's 16 minutes and 88 seconds. It's almost 17 minutes. Ugh. And then I'm like, great. These are the people investigating this case. Jesus. But Conspiraling made a video and sent it to me. So I want to share it with you because I find this appropriate and great. Make it bigger. Okay. Ready, set, go. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, stop. Hey, stop. Okay. Okay, now
2:26 a.m. and there's a call it's 16.88 minutes, so almost 17 minutes in duration. So it looks like it was a phone call. It was answered. 2:26 went on for that many seconds.
so yeah. Do you guys think maybe it wasn't 16 minutes at all? That it was like 16 seconds? 16.88 seconds? Like a call that never was answered? I think that's what we're working with here. I'm going to play that one more time.
At 2:26 a.m. and there's a call that's it's 16.88 minutes, so almost 17 minutes in duration. So it looks like it was a phone call. It was answered. 2:26 went on for that many seconds.
So he even says at the end, when he says that's almost 17 minutes, he then says it was answered and you talked for that many seconds. Talked for that many seconds. I think it's 16 seconds. I don't think it's 16.88 minutes because a phone would never register that way. From my understanding anyways. It wouldn't register that way. It's not going to say 88, 1688 if it wasn't in right. It was answered for 16.88 seconds, not minutes. And he even says it at the end. You talked for that many seconds. I think Whitcomb is wrong. That's what I'm saying. And I think Whitcomb, I'm not saying that, everything he says is wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But I think in this instance, and in the instance of Xana being in the kitchen and running away from an intruder while there's a wide open door next to her with a plate into her bedroom, I think that's not true either. I'm not saying he's wrong about everything, but I think there's a few things that are not correct. So that's what I think. I think it was seconds, not minutes. And we can dive into it a little bit more. Maybe I'll look into that this weekend and just see if I can prove myself wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I like to do that anyways, just to make sure that I'm not misleading anybody. I don't want to mislead anybody, but that's what I think. I think it was. Karmic, good to see you. Hello. And Kimmy's in here. I'm so excited for the verdict room tomorrow. Like I said, I will be asking Travis T Logic all of your questions from Wednesday. Sorry again. Yeah, I think exactly. I think he just read it wrong. He does end up saying you talked for that many seconds. I know when Dago and I we were trying to figure out, this was back when I used to be on Crimes After Dark. We were trying to figure out if when you called someone and it was ringing, but they didn't answer, if it would still register a time. And it does not. I don't believe it does. It doesn't register the time until somebody picks up. Also, we saw on Dylan's phone log that she was saying she was calling people and it was saying 0. But there were some of hers that did have an answer, which is strange. Oh, that's interesting. The jammer. I was talking to somebody about jammers the other day too. Yeah, super strange. Hello, Micro. Good to see you. Right. A stopwatch doesn't go to 0.99. It's 60 seconds. Yeah. Great job, Conspiraling. Great job. She sent it to me, I think it was yesterday. And I was like, oh, duh. Like, after you see it and hear it, you can't unsee it and hear it. And you're like, oh, duh. Oh, duh. In what world do data records log 100 seconds? I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened here. It doesn't happen with anyone else's records ever. Yeah. Like, I'm like, you won't ever see that on a phone log. Like, you can't, no. Great job. Great job. Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to ask them. I have all your guys' questions written down, so I'm going to ask them all your questions tomorrow. Hi, Rosie. Good to see you. Good to see you. What do I think of the statement? Pretty much, I think that is very much part of their vocabulary. So I think they use it, but I think that there are times that they choose to use it as like a filler word. Let me think of what I'm trying to say here. Like, kind of like a filler word, but it's also used as a qualifier word as well. So you're saying pretty much, but when you say pretty much, you're not sure, right? So I feel like sometimes they say it as part of their vocabulary. That's just what they say. I don't know, to fill space, I guess. But I also think they use it as qualifier words when they're trying to say, oh, this happened pretty much. Like it almost didn't happen, maybe. So it would be like a qualifier word, like it shows deception because your question, when you say pretty much, you're not saying it, oh, that happened 100%. It absolutely did. You're saying, well, pretty much. So kind of, and something like, which are all qualifier words. They're not definitive. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Right. It sort of sounds like an affirmative. Absolutely. That's a great statement. But if on the stand, they cannot be held liable. So, yeah. It's like they're trying to sound affirmative and positive and sure, but they say pretty sure. So to me, that sounds like you're not really sure. You're only kind of sure. Exactly. All this sort of kind of maybes. Yep. kind of sure, sort of, kind of ish, maybe, don't know, kind of. I mean, I was like tired and drunk and sleeping. I do want to, speaking of words, I do want to play one of Travis's newest shorts that he put out because it's interesting and it's great. So I'm going to play this and then we're going to talk about it.
And I just think, I don't think that other thing, I just think everyone's asleep. This is another extremely cryptic phrase here.
Thanks, Senior.
I just think everyone's asleep. And I go to her room. I go,
Where? Sorry, where? Where, Ro? Tell me where. Because I'll pull them up live. Where are they? You haven't seen it? Well, let me dig. Well, let me finish this first because I don't want to do him like that. No, I can't enlarge shorts anymore for some reason. It does not let me make the shorts bigger. I'm sorry.
I didn't run, I go. So a change of language.
So what he's explaining here is Dylan in the beginning was saying, I ran down to her room. I ran. Now here in an interview, she says, I just think everyone's asleep. And I go to her room, not run. I go. Also, when she uses the word go here, she changes the tense. She was speaking in past tense. Now she says, I go to her room. And when somebody changes their tense from a past tense to a present tense, they're lying. It didn't happen. They're making it up on the spot. So, I think this is great. This is another great find. He has found so many great things. And I just want to say, that I feel like we are so lucky that he came on the scene for this case. It's like we needed, in this case right now, we needed a different investigative angle. And him being able to do statement analysis is just a different way to look at things and analyze it and dig into it and investigate it. But you're just investigating their words and you can find out when and where somebody's being deceptive. We needed this. Like, we are so lucky to have him on this case right now like this. Okay, let me pull up the email and we will look. I'll share this right now while it's up, actually. So I wanted to make a point that, thank you, Conspiraling. I'll pull them up. I appreciate you. I wanted to show you guys. Okay. If you've been here for the past 8 months, this is not new to you, but I do know we have a lot of new people. So I want to make sure you guys know that if there's a chance for me to do an experiment and test something in this case, I will. This was, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago-ish. I don't know. My neighbor had a mattress outside and I have a 7-inch blade. I have many blades. And I thought this mark on the bed, this gouge on Xana's bed, this is when I knew that there were 100% at least 2 different weapons used. I said, no knife, no K-bar is making this gouge into a mattress. In my opinion, trigger warning. In my opinion, Xana was down in the corner in between the nightstand and the bed, and whoever was attacking her went to go slash at her, and they missed and they hit the bed. And this is what it looks like. So I said, I'm going to take my 7-inch blade and I'm going to do the same thing to my neighbor's mattress sitting on the curb. And mine is the right. That's what that looks like, to try and slash or stab a mattress with a fixed blade, 7-inch sharp fixed blade. In my opinion, this on the left of Xana, the gouge in Xana's bed, is from a much larger weapon, a machete, maybe like a hatchet or an axe type. I'm not saying somebody was carrying around an axe. I'm just saying it's a much larger weapon than a 7-inch blade. So for all of the, I know, I was like, I bet your neighbor is scared of you now. I'm like, somebody seeing me do this is going to be like, what is going on with this chick? Like, she's on drugs for sure. I did go out into the street when it was late at night too. So I'm sure my neighbor was like, I got to move. So just so you guys know, this was an experiment I did. This is how I knew back 6-8 months ago that there was more than one weapon used. So when Chris Whitcomb said, you know, there's at least 3 weapons used, and when Turvey said there's at least, 2 or 3 different weapons used, I was like, I already knew that. I knew that because this proved it to me. My 7-inch fixed blade looks nothing like the large butt gouge in this bed. It is huge and it's deep. So yes, absolutely. Different weapons used, maybe. Different, much larger for sure. Yes, and that's why I want to show you guys. I should actually start going back and bringing up some of the older stuff that I did, because I know we've got a lot of new people here. So I'm sure that you guys haven't seen some of my older stuff. So yes, I have a couple different experiments that I did, but this is when I knew that there was absolutely more than one weapon used, and another weapon was much larger. And then we got a little bit of the autopsy information, and where it says like incised wounds, those are just, like slits on the skin rather than all the way stabs. And then, yeah, it's a hole. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thoughts loading in shock phase. Hey, you might appreciate some of our merch. I haven't been showing you guys the merch store lately. Maybe I should show it or put the link in the comments, because we sure do have a merch store. Okay. But yeah, that's when I knew that there's more than one weapon, and whatever one of the other weapons was much larger. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to log into my email and pull up these new docs. There's that many. Holy macaroni, there's a lot. Did you get it yet, Stephen? Did you get it yet? You should send me a picture. Send me a picture of your merch. Absolutely. And if you, the comment says a K-bar would have to be so close. I feel like it's a machete or an axe. I do as well, because if you look at that gouge in the bed, the length of it and the width of it, and then we see, and I hate to do this and connect the two, but I can't help it because my brain does it on purpose, on accident, on purpose. But then we see that like machete in Kopaka's wall, just stuck in his wall. And I'm like, oh Lord, I know they're going to say he did it. And that's what he used. Okay, it looks like we have a lot of new docs, so we can open them. This one is, oh, I'm not even sharing it. My Lord. Here we go. Here we go. State's response to defendant's motion to adopt voir dire procedure and objection to magic question. Oh, this is long. Huh. Okay. We might have to do a whole different episode for these. Oh, I want to see the jury questionnaire. Let's open that one. After you leave today, you may not discuss any of the questions or your answers with anyone else, including spouse, children, or other members of your immediate family. Do not personally investigate this case or look information or news about it by you. Do they not know English? What in the world are they saying? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I think of, like a tomahawk type thing, a machete, an axe, a handheld, something like that. It's definitely much larger than a K-bar, wider, thicker. I also think that's what hit against the table in the dining room or living room. That's a good idea. This comment says, I went over to an acquaintance's house and they had a machete taped behind their door to use for protection. That's actually a good idea, to tape it so you know where it's at. You have access to it. Yeah. Yep. A hatchet. Yeah. That's what I always called it. I know when talking to Dago, he always thinks it's a machete. So that's why I always include that, because it's surely possible. I do want to go magnet fishing in Quinn Pond so bad. So bad. I think somebody should take a metal detector to the Arboretum and we should take magnet fishing to Quinn's Pond and see what we can find. Okay, here's what the questionnaire says. Okay, we've got general background like demographics. Can you read? Are you a resident of Ada County? Are you married? Are you single, divorced? Occupational status. Have you or your partner ever sought assistance from, donated money to, or worked for the American Civil Liberties Union, Amnesty International, or a similar organization that advocated for criminal justice reform or civil rights of criminal defendants? Is that standard? I've never had to fill one of these out. What the heck? Have you or any member of your immediate family ever belonged to a victims' rights organization? Do you have vision or hearing problems? Can you be available from 8:30 to 3:30? Employment history. Where do you work? Are you a student? What is your current job? Who is your employer? List all of your jobs for the last 10 years. More on the jobs. Have you or anybody in your immediate family been employed by any of the following: U of I, federal agencies, Latah County, Moscow City Police, Ada County Sheriff's Office, Idaho State Police, Pennsylvania State Police, Idaho State Forensic Lab, Idaho State Police, any other state, county, or city law enforcement agency, private investigation, forensic examiners or coroner's office, Spokane County Medical Examiner, Latah County Coroner, Kathy Mabbitt, or her law firm, or her dog walking business, or her laundromat, or I'm just kidding. She just seems to have a million positions with no authority over her, nobody that she needs to answer anything to, right? Latah prosecutors, any prosecuting attorney's office, Idaho Attorney General, criminal defense law firm, public defender's office, court, state or federal, television, radio, publishing, podcasts, YouTube, other social media platforms, your highest level of education, one of the fundamental principles of our legal system is that when a person is charged with a crime, he must be presumed to be innocent. Why is it just he? Why isn't it he or she? Yeah, these are... I'm just curious. Let's see if there's any super interesting questions that might give us a little insight to anything. Sorry, I didn't want to sniff in your ear. Okay. Do you hold any religious beliefs? Have you, your spouse or partner, ever been victim of a violent or otherwise serious crime? Close friend, you yourself, family, ever been charged with a felony? I thought you couldn't be on a jury if you have a felony. I thought you couldn't even be like asked to do jury duty if you had a felony. Have you ever been an inmate? Do you have any experiences with or opinions about law enforcement officers, whether positive or negative, that might impair your ability to impartially evaluate the testimony of an officer during this trial? The evidence in this case may include testimony about autism spectrum disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and eating disorders. Boom. Those were Bryan Kohberger's diagnoses. There you have it. Those are his diagnoses. Autism spectrum disorder, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and an eating disorder. Interesting. These ask, in this case, the state has filed a notice of intention to seek the death penalty. This means that if and only if Mr. Kohberger is found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder, there will be a separate trial known as sentencing proceeding. During the sentencing proceeding, other evidence may be presented to the jury. You are not to draw any conclusions about why you are being asked questions about the death penalty before this trial has commenced. Do not think that anyone has determined that a sentencing proceeding will be required or that Mr. Kohberger will be found guilty of any offense. This is very important. If the defendant is convicted of first-degree murder, the same jury that determined guilt may be asked to determine the appropriate sentence in a separate proceeding. In the sentencing phase of this case, the prosecution is required to establish the existence of an aggravating circumstance, which is the prosecution asserts support the death penalty. On the other hand, the defense will present mitigating circumstances to the jury, which the defense asserts support a penalty of life imprisonment. Aggravating circumstances are factors set out by statute and alleged by the state in support of a death sentence. Mitigating circumstances are anything about the defendant or the facts of the case that, in fairness or mercy, indicate that a sentence other than death is appropriate. Have you ever actively supported any measure to modify, reinstate, or abolish the death penalty? It asks again if they're involved with all of these agencies. Do you know the defendant? Do you know William Thompson, Jeffrey Nye, Ashley Jennings, Ann Taylor, Elisa Massoth, J. Logsden, Bicca Barlow, Madison Mogan or her family, Kaylee or her family, Ethan or his family, Xana or her family? What have you heard or what do you know about this case? Have you discussed this case with anyone? Have you watched, read, or followed media on this case? Have you donated funds to any person or family impacted or associated with this case? Do you have an opinion about Mr. Kohberger's innocence or guilt? Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? I wonder if, right, that takes care of most of the town. I wonder if I FOIA. Actually, I'm just going to do it. Maybe I'll give you a surprise. I'm going to send in a new FOIA tonight. I want to know if something exists, and I'm going to find out just by their response. They're talking about jury sequester. That's it. Wow. I thought jury questionnaires were much more detailed. Like, I thought they kind of went in depth with more. It seems like the only question that is really personable to Bryan Kohberger was his diagnosis. Interesting. Okay. The rebuttal. What's this one? State's Exhibit S. Idaho State Police Forensic Services. Controlled Substance Analysis Report. Investigating Officer Dustin Blaker. Oh, great. This is for the Ziploc bag with trace of blue powder. It was amphetamine. Lab item 71, extracts returned with evidence. Controlled substance analysis notes. Packaging information. Item 71, blue powder. They spelled blue wrong, but okay. Labs, thank you so much for the 5 new members. 5 new members are green today. Welcome to our new members. How are you peasants doing today? Hey, Dylan Mortensen. Dylan Mortensen. Dylan Mortensen, we have questions for you, ma'am. Security. Okay. But yeah, they spelled blue wrong, just so you know. 16.88. Almost 17. Oh Lord. Okay. Blue powder found on desk in bedroom, unmeasured. Sealed, yes. Initialed, yes. External packaging type, evidence, envelope. Thank you so much. Please repost merch link. You got it. You got it. Not that one. You got it. Let's see. There you go. Bianca posted it right there. It's bronxshop.printify.me. I'll leave that up there for a second. I will read this. Okay. Item 71, blue powder found on desk in bedroom, unmeasured. Date opened 12/28/2022. Ziploc bag with trace of blue powder. Reserve less than 1/2. I don't know what that means. GCMS MEOH extraction ×2. Sample contains amphetamine. Additional comments. Extracts returned with evidence. Additional observation and notes. Cut bottom off Ziploc bag when accessing evidence envelope. 12/29/2022. Ran extracts on a different GCMS that has better chromatography and response for phenethylamines. Here is, I'll take this down now. Okay. Moscow Police Department. That's the file name. Operator acquired December 28th. ISP. Sample name blank. Vial number 51. Abundance. Cheetos for Brunksy and for more for ya. Thank you so much, Jen. You are so sweet. So sweet. Oh, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Let's see. It's giving quantities. Corn Dead. We have 5 new members again and again and again. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and welcome to our new members. Look at your puppy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So little. How adorable. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. It's still just giving values. So we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and then it starts giving actual like number values. It says abundance, and then it says amphetamine indicated. They used the Blue Falcon. That was the instrument they used. I mean, sounds like a warplane, but okay. Amphetamine. I'll have to sit down and like look up all these numbers and stuff to know what they mean and how much. So that is that one. Exhibit 23. Idaho State Police Forensic Service. Dustin Blaker is the investigating officer. Item 1. Evidence description: 1 K-bar leather knife sheath with USMC logo. Conclusions and interpretations. Item 1 was processed for latent prints. Item 1, no latent prints were observed or developed. This is State's Exhibit S23. Disposition of evidence. Item 1 will be returned to the submitting agency. That was 11/19. Latent print analysis. Date opened 11/17. Sealed, yes. Initialed, yes. External packaging type, paper bag. Packaging notes: brown paper bag folded over and evidence taped. Start date 11/17. Item number 1, description of surface of item: leather. Item was examined by Stephanie Wilt while in my custody. Presumptive blood testing positive, and samples for biology were collected by FSS Wilt. Trace samples were collected on Post-it notes and placed in a manila envelope that was then repackaged with item 1. Method used: single-use powder, powder magnetic. They've got there you go. I mean, I think we already have the pictures of these, right? But let's see if there's anything new. Nope. Oh, here we go. Oh, I think we have this list, don't we? Suspect, Jack DeCœur. Subject, Bethany Funk. Subject, Dylan Mortensen. Oh, this is just for latent prints. Jose Cruz, Jeremy Reagan. Subject, Mason Barstow. Oh, we'll be getting his interview any day. Subject, Coy Wynn. Subject, Derek Agbenaya. Subject, Patrick Butner. Subject, Courage Allerbew. Boo. Subject, James Deskins. Subject, Henry Clark. Subject, Kenneth Anderson. Subject, no, his name is not Donald McDonald, you guys. Why did his mom do him like that? Subject, Donald McDonald. Ronald McDonald. Subject, Reed Upmore. Subject, Jonathan Exene. Subject. Yeah, we can I'll be FOIAing all these people. These are just for the latent prints. It just means that their fingerprint wasn't on the sheath. It's not the blood. Subject, Mackenzie Griggs. Subject, Syringa Riley. Subject, Chase Dixon, Caleb Jacobson, Brennan Crawford, Tyler Yelk. Oh, oh, snap. Re-Upmore. Chase Dixon. Yep. Do you guys remember who Tyler Yelk is? They tested for his latent prints. That was the coach. George Simitis. They tested Maddie's prints, Xana's prints, Ethan's prints, and Kaylee's prints. There were 0 prints on that knife sheath. None. 0. Item 66, Keystone Light Can. 68, Keystone Light Can. 69, Keystone Light Can. Items 66, 68, and 69 were processed for latent prints. Latent prints were observed or developed. Latent print 66.1 through 66.12, 68.1 through 68.12, and 69.1 through 69.9 have been forwarded for comparison. 33 latent prints were marked and preserved. Digital images are being retained by ISP. 18 latent lift cards were generated and retained in an impression evidence packet. The IEP will be sent to the submitting agency upon completion or comparison. That's it. They didn't tell us whose prints they were. So wonderful. Great. Excellent. Here's the motion in limine inconclusive. What is that? Inconclusive data. So this is for inconclusive data. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of records and hereby moves to court for an order limiting testimony about the statistical analysis of item Q13.1 fingernail scrapings. Allowing such testimony would violate Mr. Kohberger's federal and state constitutional rights to due process, a fair trial, effective assistance of counsel, and confrontation of witnesses. The motion is based on the 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution. Rules of Evidence 102, 104, 701, 702, and 703. The requested limits are made to secure fairness in administration to the end the truth may be ascertained and proceedings justly determined. Further, above requested matters are ripe for consideration by the court pursuant. Statement of facts. In grand jury testimony, Jade Miller testified as to the results of testing done on item Q13.1. A swab of the left fingernail clippings from Madison Mogen. The data consisted of 3-person mixture. The likelihood ratio was calculated assuming that Maddie Mogen was a contributor to her own fingernails. Miller testified that as followed. The profile is at least 77,900,000 times more likely to be seen if it resulted from a mixture DNA of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, and an unrelated, randomly selected individual than if it resulted from DNA from Madison Mogen and 2 unrelated, randomly selected individuals. The data from that, that's saying that the DNA under Maddie's nails, they were saying the sample was inconclusive to Bryan, but we know that that is not true. It did not match him at all. We've actually seen this. Remember, they tested Jack DeCœur, Cole Berenberg, Xana, Bethany. Well, why didn't they didn't test Dylan? Why not? Interesting. Okay. Notice of, oh, it's a notarized affidavit. Oh, so this is an affidavit. It's a motion to strike the death penalty because Bryan Kohberger has autism. That's what that is. It's the affidavit of Cecil Reynolds. Reynolds. I was first licensed as a psychologist in 1978 and maintained a clinical practice in addition to my academic appointments for just over 25 years. I am currently an emeritus professor of educational psychology, professor of neuroscience, and distinguished research scholar at Texas A&M University. I currently practice forensic neuroscience and specialize in high-stakes complex cases. I've been retained as a consultant in issues of mental health and neuroscience by the defense of Bryan Kohberger. He's properly qualified in psychiatry, psychology, and neuropsychology, forensic psychiatry. After extensive vetting, they selected and hired Joette James, a neuropsychologist. She performed many hours of work, including testing Mr. Kohberger and conducting collateral interviews. She had one additional round of tests planned to clarify diagnostic issues present with Mr. Kohberger. And shortly before that trip, Dr. James unexpectedly passed away. Wow. Did you guys hear that? The person who was hired to diagnose Bryan Kohberger died. Skios. This is starting to sound like Delphi. Yeah, she just before the trip to diagnose him, she passed away. Interesting. I was able to interview her regarding her incomplete impressions and again, incomplete testing data, and developed an understanding of the additional work required, which included the addition of a forensic psychiatrist to the team. She was unable at the time to forward her records, testing, and notes to me due to the severity of her illness. Okay, so she was sick, and its unexpected and rapid onset. After her death, I assisted the team in interviewing and selecting an expert to assess Mr. Kohberger. It was necessary to review and vet multiple experts to ensure the proper expert would be retained. The team subsequently selected Dr. Rachel Orr as a replacement for James and added Dr. Eileen Ryan, a forensic psychiatrist, to the team. They made several attempts to obtain the raw data from the testing performed by Dr. James, and it was not successful. This substantially delayed the development of a full understanding of Bryan's neuropsychological status and diagnosis of his multiple mental conditions. So they analyzed data, worked diligently. They were not able to get results or develop initial reports until January of 2025. That's it. I thought it was going to give us their findings. Dang it. Agreement of the parties to not mention cell phone incident during trial. Excuse me? What? Oh, so they could not. This is just saying that they could not bring up anything regarding Bryan Kohberger stealing his sister's. It doesn't even say stealing. It just says took his sister's cell phone. So they could not bring that up.
Hi, puppy. What you doing, baby? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Doobie doobie. Like Scooby Dooby Doo. I love you. Defendant's motion to compel. This one talks about orders of disclosure for IGG information. Um, says the state objects to this request as untimely and improper. The FBI's letter dated November 28th, 2023, which the state produced to the defense on 1/29/2024, explains that the FBI provided all the materials in its possession related to the utilization of IGG in this case to the court for in-camera review. See Bates page. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to, that's a long one. Oh, I bet Pav's going to be on that one. I know that he's been on the DNA quest lately. All right, let's see. Defendant's objection to state's motion in limine 911 call. The statements on the 911 call are hearsay. The 911 call did not come up. The 911 call did not come at 4:30 in the morning when Dylan and Bethany communicated with each other and ended up in the same bedroom. The 911 call came 8 hours later. This call came after Dylan and Bethany each made calls, corresponded through text and other messaging to family and friends. The 911 call came only after friends arrived. Bethany initiated the 911 call, and thereafter the phone was passed from person to person. The state lays out only one statement as an excited utterance. The statements of Emily Allant when the phone was passed to her. She said, "Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night." Yeah. The state claims these words are an excited utterance because they explain why Xana was passed out. The state fails to take into account why that statement was made. The same transcript and same page reflect the dispatcher asking exactly what was going on. Emily stated, one of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Either Bethany or Dylan said, "No, we saw." After that prompted, Emily told dispatch about the man they saw. Oh, do you hear that? It's bolded. It's in bold lettering. The man that they saw. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, the man they saw. Thereafter, the phone was handed back to Dylan. The statements by Emily do not fit within excited utterance exception. She first states she is reporting a roommate who was passed out from drinking and not waking up. She then states they saw some man in their house. Emily does not have firsthand information and is repeating what Dylan and Bethany told her. All of the statements made by Dylan and Bethany must be analyzed under the applicable framework for excited utterance. In Mr. Kohberger's response to the state's motion in limine, text messages and testimony, he objects in part based on completeness of the record, but also because a more complete record weighs against the state's motion. The phone activity of Dylan and Bethany shows the statements on the 911 call are not an excited utterance. The phone activity is more extensive than a few messages between Dylan and Bethany. Phone activity did not stop once they were together. It did not begin right before 911 was called. Bang. Bingo, bango. The 911 call was not contemporaneous with Dylan and Bethany's stated awareness of something happening in their house. 8 hours passed until they called for friends to come to the residence. An excited utterance is a statement that is made while under the influence of an event. The 911 call and statements contained therein came after conversation, calls, texts, internet surfing, and other phone activity. Oh, why they gotta redact it? Come on, are you serious? The state claims most of the statements in the 911 call meet the present sense impression exception to the hearsay rule. The state says this is so because they all saw Xana unresponsive and were told to call 911. Present tense impression, a statement describing or explaining an event or condition made while or immediately after the declarant perceived it. The only possible statements that qualify are those regarding Xana being unresponsive. Statements regarding what Dylan and Bethany claim they saw 8 hours earlier are not contemporaneous in time. Reviewing the grand jury testimony shows the state misplaces reliance on at least some of the statements about Xana. The state ignores previous sworn testimony when it claims the 911 call contains present sense impression because the declarants were observing Xana. The state has not identified what exception to the rule against hearsay apply to which statements, with the exception of the previously discussed statement. The state relies on the conclusion reached by Judge Judge in denying Mr. Kohberger's motion to dismiss the grand jury indictment. Mr. Kohberger disagrees with the conclusion and the state's reliance on the findings. Mr. Kohberger objects to the state's motion and urges the court to deny it. Interesting. The man that they saw a man. Timing advance records. Admissibility. Exhibit 1, defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery. Exhibit 1A, state supplemental response to defendant's 11th supplemental requests for discovery. Exhibit 2 is an email chain between Ashley Jennings, Bill Thompson, and Ann Taylor. Exhibit 3 is an email chain between Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor regarding new discovery disclosure. Uh, 11th supplemental request for discovery Exhibit J, all audio to all video available from 1112 camera. We are seeking all audio and video that exists from this camera. We are missing sound on 11/13/2022 from midnight to 2:25 in the morning, from 12:05 p.m. on the 13th through 11/17 at 17:22 p.m. Based upon information we have reviewed in discovery, we believe there is video footage prior to the midnight hour. We are requesting all footage, audio, and video that exists from the King Road camera prior to 12:55. Interesting. So does that mean that the video recorded all the way to the 17th? Is that what that means? Because I'll request it, y'all. I'll request it. Let's see. Expert witness discovery. We did that one, that one. That one. AT&T records, admissibility. Motion to compel. Oh, heirs, wilt, jury questionnaire, charm free, as free as the wind blow. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. That's so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So sweet. Thank you. That is so sweet. We appreciate you very, very much. Did you guys like my inability to sing? You're welcome. There's just a few more I'm going to click on. I just want to see what these rebuttals are. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. Sergeant Darren Gilbertson. Law enforcement. Oh, here's his his resume. His curriculum vitae. No, I think it's just a resume. He manages the daily operations of Regional Investigations Program, sets policies and procedures to achieve defined goals. He does not. He does large-scale narcotics investigations. Vehicular crash investigations, FTO. He's trained in post-master certificate, post-advanced certificate, post-intermediate certificate, and field training officer. I don't see anything about like murders or anything. Is that oh, he supervised all District 2 detectives and oversees all their cases. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. I think there's one more, two more. One more. Let's see. This is Hill. On December 24th, 2022, Special Agent Hill responded to Albertsons, located at 400 Bridge Street, Clarkston, Washington, to collect video surveillance. Upon he was given access to the video surveillance system and collected footage from all exterior cameras as well as the entrance exit cameras for the time period of the 13th of November between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Through the course of this investigation, investigators performed an extensive canvass of Moscow and the surrounding area to include Pullman, Clarkston, Lewiston for video surveillance which may have been relevant to this investigation. The surveillance, which was collected, was reviewed by Special Agent Hill in conjunction with other investigative leads in an attempt to identify and locate a suspect and or suspect vehicle. Through this surveillance review and a review of other investigative leads, a suspect vehicle identified as a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra, hereafter referred to as Vehicle 1. Additionally, a subject was identified as Bryan Kohberger. The following is intended to be a summary of the collected surveillance footage, highlighting pertinent sightings which appear to show vehicles matching. It appears to show, because we now know that those vehicles have fog lights. It appears to show vehicles matching the description of Vehicle 1 or sightings of individuals matching the description of Kohberger on November 13th. The below noted camera locations were checked for their timestamp accuracy as compared to actual current time. The following time accuracy was found for each location: 787 Indian Hills Drive, 763 Indian Hills Drive, 755 Indian Hills Drive, 1311 South Main Street, 1125 Ridge Road, 1320 Linda Lane, 1320 Dumpster, 1112 King Road, 451 Paradise, 1330 Linda Lane, 1455 Southeast Bishop in Pullman, Northeast Stadium Way and Nevada, Stadium Way at Grimes in Pullman, Stadium Way at Wilson Road in Pullman, Cougar Way in Pullman, Clarkston, Washington, the Costco, 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington, U.S. Chef Store, 400 Bridge Street, the Albertsons, 1300 Johnson Avenue in Pullman, E&S Services, 3:26 a.m. Indian Hills Road, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 is seen driving westbound. The headlights of a vehicle are seen traveling westbound on Indian Hills Drive. The headlights. A vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 is seen traveling westbound on Indian Hills, 326, 328. A vehicle is seen traveling westbound on Steiner Avenue, crossing Main Street. 329, 1125 Ridge Road, a vehicle matching the description, traveling westbound. 329 Ridge Road, a vehicle matching the description, north toward Taylor, a vehicle matching the description at 329, westbound on Taylor. 3:30 in the morning, seen traveling southbound on King Road, turning east onto Queen Road. 1330 Linda Lane parking at 3:30. A description of vehicle 1 travels east along the north side of 500 Queen Road. The vehicle turns south along the east side of the building, then turns west along the south side of the building. The vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 exits the frame traveling west in the direction of 1122. 331 headlights briefly shine on upper exterior of 1127 King Road, indicating a vehicle turning north toward Queen. A vehicle matching the description travels westbound at 3:33 in the morning on Queen Road, turning north onto King. Headlights can be seen shining on trees to the west of King Road on Taylor. Headlights are seen on Walenta, south on Ridge, westbound onto Paradise, westbound onto Paradise, northbound on Walenta, southbound on King. And then it's the same thing again. 350, 351. He's on Walenta, or they're saying he's on Walenta. And then he pulls in at 356, or they say he pulls in at 356. 358, 359, 4 o'clock, 401, 404, 404, south on King, east onto Queen. Then they say he does the 3-point turn at 405, 406, a window reflection. Performs a U-turn, 407. This is then they say he does the high rate of speed at 420. Then he goes to Costco. Costco parking lot. Kate's Cup of Joe. The chef store. A vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling east through the Albertsons, eventually parking. Bryan Kohberger walks into Albertsons, entering Albertsons, matching the description of Kohberger seen at the checkout, self-checkout. Exiting Albertsons. It's funny. They have him the next day on video camera. I mean, wouldn't you think he'd be like getting rid of, they pretty much are saying that they have him or his vehicle on camera. He's never off camera. Where would he have disposed of any weapons or clothing? It's like they literally have him, or they say they have him, from the entire night. It just doesn't stop. Kenneth Bonifin. 651 Paradise. Oh. Motion activated cameras. Yeah, that's it. It's just the car. We've pretty much seen all of this before. That's pretty much it. Let me exit out of that. Let me stop that. All right, guys. Pretty much. I think I hear it so much or read it so much that I'm just like, yeah, pretty much. I'm comfortable in the pretty much skin now. Jibba. I'm gonna have to read those again to really let it sink in, the times and stuff. Let me share this really quickly. Here we go. House. Is House still in here or did House leave? Well, this is for House. This is Bronx's buddy of the day. And this is her baby, Hermes. Haha, I love his name. It's Hermes. I had to ask her. I said, do you pronounce it like the clothing line, the expensive clothing, Hermes? She said, no, it's Hermes. Like, I love it. This is Hermes. This is Bronx's buddy of the day. And this is for House. You guys have seen House in here. House 6443. There it is. House. Actually, I have a surprise for you, though. So let me move this just so you can see it. Okay. This is the first one. But then I made another one because I wanted to make one like Hermes, like the ancient Greek god. So these are for you. I will send them to you when we jump off here. I'll send them in your email. So this is Bronx's buddy of the day, and it's Hermes. And he's just so stinking adorable. I just love him. Aw. So cute. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. We appreciate you sharing with us. So we've got Hermes 1 and Hermes 2. Aw, so cute. Such a doll. Yes, he is. So cute. So cute. We love our fur babies over here. All right, guys. So cute. All right, guys. Do something nice for yourself today. Be kind. I know, so handsome. But more importantly, be kind to your animals. And I just want to thank everybody who donated to Foyas and Bronxy Treats and members. And thank you to the mods for being here and sticking out 2 hours and 2.5 hours with me tonight. Hopefully, we will see you tomorrow on the verdict room so we can ask all of your questions from Wednesday to Travis T. Logic on the verdict room. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening and please be safe. Love you guys.
Yeah. Bronx on the scene, nose to the ground, reads every scratch, every step, every sound. Dust on the boot, mud on the cuff, one wrong move and he calls you bluff. He found a lie in the turn of a face, found a fresh print in an empty place. Tail up high when the story won't blend, he don't bark loud, he just gets close. Damn, sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. Hey, hey. Idaho nights cold, over the floor. 4 names heavy in the whole town, so Bronx in the weeds where the silence stayed, digging for proof in the tracks it made. He found the gap in the masked up tail, found the bent clue in the buried trail. Bone white truth in the folder stack, one clean scent in the case swings back. Sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. One paw print, one torn thread, one false alibi, falls dead. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose.